It's time for Cutting Edge Consciousness with Freeman Michaels and Barnet Bain. Thought-provoking discussions and bold ideas from the edge of possibility.
Oh, here's a good one. It's too good. I'm not going to do it.
That's just a tease.
Describe an exalted experience you
Describe
an exalted experience that you had within the last few years.
Exalted.
Or lifetimes.
Right. I want you to answer that.
Oh, I have a really good one.
I know you would.
I have a really good one.
You're the one picking the questions. There's always got to be like...
He's got an agenda.
Yeah, there's got to be an answer
agenda there. So, we were talking earlier, before this podcast, about a experience that I had in the high desert on a vision quest. And I shared the first half of that experience.
Yeah.
And if you're interested, you're going to have to go back and check that out. But the second half of that experience was this. After the fourth day of being out in the heat,
no
food, just water, I was starting to see things, and the desert was beginning to move. Everything is starting to look like paisley and dripping. And it's just like, and I see out there, I've been out there for 4 days and 4 nights, and I look down, way down the canyon, and I see, I don't know how far it is. It seemed plenty far. I see one tiny green thing. So I stagger to my feet, and somehow I managed to get there. I drag myself over the hard scrabble, and I get to this green thing, and it turns out to be this little dwarfed Joshua tree. And it is the only living thing besides me.
Right.
It is the only big living thing. There's all kinds of bugs in it, but it's the only big living thing around.
So you decided to have a conversation
So
with
I
it.
have a conversation with it. I collapse it. We're at the same level.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And I'm having a talk with this
Did
thing.
it answer you back?
And I say to it, "What are you doing here?" And it says back to me, crystal clear,
I love it.
with this subtext of, what kind of a question is that?
Right.
It says back to me, I'm here for you. And if I can be here, if I can survive and thrive in the midst of this, you have no excuses for anything. So go back into your world.
That's fantastic.
And take that thought with you.
That's fantastic.
That was certainly one of the most exalted experiences of my life. I hauled myself back up to my knees, and from my knees, I hauled myself back up to my feet, and I staggered back to my little camp spot, and I sat there for another day and another night thinking about that, and that has never completely left me.
So my exalted experience is Antonio's birth, 8.5 years ago. And
Antonio, like the chef at the restaurant?
my son Antonio.
I'm kidding.
Similar to the guy at the restaurant, just slightly, just from my loins, right? And it was a feeling of, I was sobbing, and it was a feeling of elation and fear all mixed together. Like, can I really do this? Can I be a dad to a son, a man, son? Harkening back to the question we answered earlier. How do I do this? And a sense of incredible love and responsibility for this little hunk of crying flesh that came out. And it's a constant unfolding thing. But that moment was pretty close to elation. I was pretty raw. Yeah.
That's beautiful.